Yate, and welcome to our Native American Heritage Month event sponsored by the Howard County Office of Human Rights. Navabi Dene has partnered with HOCO Human Rights for a couple of years now, and as an opening, Yate Anibige Yanishya, Yanishya, Wahaglini Nishle, do Bikani Bashichin, Hashlishi Deshiche, do Hanisani Deshanala. And I'm Annie Figueald, and I am of the Water That Flows Together people, born for the Withanishiv people. My maternal grandfather is of the Mud people, and my paternal grandfather is of the Tangle people, and that is how I am Navajo, first and foremost. Native American Heritage Month gives us a wide platform to be able to talk about and shed light on many issues that affect Indian country. An issue that I'd just like to highlight this evening is the effect of COVID throughout Indian country. And on my nation alone, Navajo Nation, there are currently 13,744 positive cases. And since the time that COVID began, we've unfortunately had 605 deaths. Now, this isn't something that I wish to keep I don't want to dwell on the negative, but I do think it's important to highlight the fact that our President Jonathan Nez, has been very proactive in his approach doing lockdowns and so forth. There are organizations that have come to light, such as one that I'm affiliated with called protectnativeelders.org, that offers COVID rapid response PPE to people on the reservation. So please keep in mind your relatives, keep prayers up for Indian country. We are very heavily affected. There's a lot of social justice issues that go into why COVID has wreaked havoc on Indian country in particular. A lot of individuals do not have running water and electricity and things that would otherwise keep us safe. So you can go to protectnativeelders.org to learn a little bit more and to see how maybe possibly you can help. Tonight, I wanted to welcome our two esteemed guests. We have Lance and Giovanna, who are going to be singing to us and explaining what they're singing. And you are free to ask any questions after they're done. And we're going to have them take it away, and I'll have them introduce themselves. Thank you so much for attending, guys.
Hi. First, I just would like to acknowledge the lands that we're singing on here in the Washington, D.C. area, home of the Piscataway Nations on the Washington, D.C. and Maryland side, but also on the Virginia side, home of the infamous Pamunkey and Mattaponi, Rappahannock, and so forth. So there are many nations here, and they still exist today. So we just wanted to honor and give thanks, just for being here and for living and singing on these lands.
Hello, my name is Lance Fisher. My Cheyenne name is Medicine Bear, Maheo Nanako. We're going to begin tonight's performance with a prayer song that I composed, and then we're going to follow it up with another song that I composed in its Southern style, and we're going to kind of sing a few songs. If there's any questions you have, please put them in the chat, and we'll maybe sing a couple songs. You guys can ask questions. And if there's no questions, we'll just keep singing. So thank you.
My name is Giovanna Gross, and I am Ogala, Lakota, and Northern Peruvian. And I just wanted to say hello, and we will try to give brief explanations of the songs like he just did beforehand. And then if you have any questions about maybe like the technical side of it, we can answer those after each set of songs. So thank you.
Hey, hi, hey, hey, oh, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi, hey, hi, hey, Okay, very briefly, a lot of the songs, they're sung with a purpose. There's ceremonial songs that aren't necessarily meant to be shared in a public venue like this, but there's also a lot of times I'm asked to both open and close events with prayer songs and sometimes traveling songs to wish people well on their journey back home. And so that very first song we just sang, it was composed by me. It's always hard to compose songs because I always feel like I'm copying the songs that I've heard before and just hoping that's number one, that I haven't plagiarized someone else's song, and then also that the feeling of a prayer is conveyed to the audience. So hopefully you're all moved by that. We're gonna continue on with there's certain styles of music, and I just want to point out that Giovanna and I, we mainly sing plains music, but we also sometimes join Ralph and Dennis Zotai with the Zotai singers, and they sing mainly Kiowa songs, and it's a little bit lower singing, and you'll see in the song that it's lower. And if you notice in the very first song at the very end, I did a few harder beats, just kind of they're called honor beats, and they honor Mother Earth, life, everything around us that deserves honor. And you'll see in this southern song, in between each of the verses, there's three beats. It goes, and as Dennis Zota explained to me, those are in Kiowa they're called Gashka beats, and it's kind of to bring attention that we're about to say something of importance and value. So this song was also composed by me. I really like it, and I hope you all enjoy it too. Okay, we're going to open up the questions. Can you read?
I'll read the questions. Okay. One moment. Okay, so this is from Giorgio from the Kickapoo tribe of Oklahoma, tribal elder of Water Clan. I live in the DC area as well. Lance, when you compose songs, do they come easy? And how do you begin the process? How do you complete the process?
Okay, usually there's a certain melody that kind of comes in my brain. Sometimes I can build on it really quickly. There's times when I can try to write a song for many days, and I have a lot of unfinished drafts. And but it's always amazing when I finish a song and actually like it, and people like it. It's as a performer, you always want to try to make people feel good and spread good medicine. Sometimes the songs I think are going to be awesome aren't so much, and songs I kind of aren't too. I feel like I do a little better. Those really move people, so I just try my best. But there's to get into like the musical side of things, a lot of the songs are kind of based off like a pentatonic scale, and I have background in both trumpet and guitar, so composing songs. This singing, I've only been singing for about 5 years now, and it's probably one of the last things I would ever consider myself to be doing is teaching others about singing and drumming. But I'm very honored to be here. Just honored that the people that have helped me along the way open themselves up to sharing how to sing, and everything I can do to help encourage others to pick up the drum and help spread good medicine around. It's always good for me to continue on and hopefully have my son take over someday. I can retire. You want to add anything to that?
Sure. So Lance is the one who mainly composes a lot of his own songs and music. I'm sorry, excuse me 1 second. Sorry, parental duties. So Lance is mainly the one who composes his own songs. As for singing wise, I have been singing for a long time, but in the ceremonial spectrum of things, which is a little bit different than like powwow singing. I don't have a long history singing powwow, only a couple of years, and it's quite different. But that's my experience singing, and I'll do have like slight input or just advice, but I also just provide the female component. If you listen carefully to the songs, traditionally, and this is for most of the Plains tribes, I'm not quite sure in terms of the other nations, but I know specifically for the Plains Indians, if you listen very carefully, a lot of the women will come in a certain part of the middle of the second verse. So I don't lead and I don't start off with him, but we're supposed to sing kind of like what they call a tail and ending, and so that it kind of has a balance when you sing the songs. So he'll come in with like a lead, and I, the female, will come in and kind of drag out the end there, what they call a tail. So that's our experience with music.
Okay, Lance, we're getting a number of questions that are coming in. So one of the first questions is from Sabera, and she asks, I had heard or learned that traditionally songs are passed down from generation to generation. Is this correct? Also, what inspired you to compose your own song? In addition, I don't know if you want me to lump these together here so you guys can just kind of answer everything. I was also asked, let's see, what are some of your most memorable performances? And what material is your drum made of? And is that your only one, or do you have multiple ones?
Okay, thank you all for the questions. Let's see if I can remember the first one about passing songs down. The next couple songs we're going to sing, they're actually going to be in the Cheyenne language. The first two, we're going to try to explain. They're called vocal bowls. They don't necessarily have a word meaning, but they're when they're tied together, they kind of create like a spiritual meaning. And so those first two songs, they didn't have any words, but they still, when they're tied together, create a song. And so there are songs that are passed down. Some of those, like I said earlier, they don't necessarily aren't supposed to be shared on public venues. They're kind of guarded. But these next two songs we'll sing, they're both flag songs, and they can both honor veterans. And we'll go over that more after the songs are sung. But I was going to explain this too. This drum was composed by one of the songs that we're going to sing next. It's my cousin Conrad Fisher. He composed a Cheyenne song to honor women's veterans. And before this event took place, we had a request for a song or something to honor veterans for this Howard County event. And so that's why we chose this song. And also, this drum was a gift. And it kind of ties into the next question about the memorable performances. I'm only one part of everything. There's the drum, there's Giovanna, there's everything that helps us help the DC Native community and just the community in general to try to learn more about Native American singing and drumming and why we do what we do. What was the other question about my most memorable performance? There's been some pretty interesting ones. I think my very first performance was probably one of the most memorable ones because I was very scared, and there was youth from the Standing Rock tribe that came. They ran all the way from North and South Dakota to Washington, D.C., and it was
during the No Dapple and Standing Rock events that were happening a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and so I had never sung solo or by myself. I kind of helped with the group. Prior to that, I may have been singing for about a year, and I could definitely feel like my whole body kind of shaking. But there was Native youth, and they ran all the way from North and South Dakota to DC, and they kind of they're obviously inspiring, and I just had to dig deep and sing for them, and I think we were both blessed that day, and it's very, very memorable that you're asked to sing for all these different causes that come to DC. But hopefully, there's these everyone that comes to DC, they've been blessed by the voice that I've provided for the different causes. Memorable performance.
Sure. I would just also answer the question about songs being passed down. For me, my most kind of memorable moment was during one of our ceremonies, ceremonies called Sundance. And there were a lot of women singers, and they just sounded so beautiful and harmonious. And, you know, at that time I was like really shy. And whenever I went to ceremony, a lot of the women portion in the ceremony, the young ladies, they were also like very, very shy, you know. But in contrast to like the men that would sing, you know, they would just sing so loud. And, you know, so it was a lady who got up to the microphone, you know, after we were just kind of humming in the background of whatever drum group was singing. And she got up to the microphone and she told the people not to be shy, and specifically like the women and girls, not to be shy to try to sing. And that, you know, to just at least get up and try. Because who will pass down, you know, like these songs and, you know, everything that comes with them. And so given our kind of tumultuous history here as Indigenous peoples, it really struck a chord with me at that moment. And from then on, I think ever since every ceremony or every place I go, I try to like pick up or learn. You know, I know my limits in terms of singing, but I try in a respectful way, you know, because I also don't want to, you know, disrespect the nation or anything, but I always try. So that's where it kind of picked up for me. And that's actually how we came across each other. We just kind of kept bumping into the same events, and a lot of the events really involve singing. So somebody asked a question in terms of songs being passed down. So there are songs that are kind of more recent, like these first two, and there are also other songs that have been passed down hundreds of years, and the ones that have been passed down for hundreds of years often come with like a story. And so there is both. There is both types of songs. So I believe I'm not sure which one of the two. I know the Women's Warrior song, the Cheyenne Women's Warrior song, is more recent, but I'm not sure how old that other honor song is.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just briefly answer the question about why I compose my own songs. It's because I'm scared I will mess up other people's songs. And so if I mess up my own song, only I can tell. But we're going to segue into the next two songs. The first song I chose to perform here, it's the Northern Cheyenne flag song, the Bernie flag song. It's a town on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation where both my parents are from, Bernie, Montana. And the flag songs that we sing, they're both to honor the veterans, and then also they're kind of given the same reverence that you would give the national anthem. And you don't have to this time, but or I won't be able to tell, but normally you would ask people to stand and rise and remove their covering. So this first song we'll do is the Bernie flag song, and then we'll follow it up with another song. The Veterans song was composed. We just had Veterans Day last Wednesday, and we went down to the National Native American Veterans Memorial, and we're able to bless the grounds with some veteran songs. And so both of these songs we sang out there. Ready? So the Cheyenne words in that song were soldiers, your flag is still waving. And that one was probably composed, I want to say, over 100 years ago, and honoring the veterans returning from World War I. And then this next song, like I was saying, my cousin also gifted me this hand drum. It's made of elk. He also composed this next song. It's a Cheyenne women's veterans song, and it's composed specifically to honor women veterans. There's a Cheyenne proverb that says, "A nation is not defeated until the hearts of its women are on the ground," and he acknowledges that. And the words to this are, "Women warriors, the flag, the one that you vow to protect, there it is, it's still waving."
Yes. I'd also just like to make a short note and a congratulations to all the women who made it into as leaders for like the government for the Northern Cheyenne Nation. Something historical happened, and the president, vice president, basically all the council members, this time around, they were all women that won the spots. And that's a pretty amazing thing, as I don't think that's happened before. So just with this song we're about to sing, we'd also like to congratulate all those women leaders.
Okay, we're going to open back up for questions again for a little bit.
Okay, so Lance, we have a couple of questions that have come in. One, I'm not sure if, what inspired you to start singing 5 years ago? What is your favorite part of the song making process? Asks 10-year-old named Henry. And then another person just wanted to notate that watching you perform feels very spiritual and connected with higher purpose. Would you be comfortable sharing what you see in your mind's eye while you sing?
Okay. So I moved to Washington, D.C. in about November 2014, and I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any friends. And I was pretty lonely. I went to, I think it was the Indian Health Service held a powwow in Gaithersburg, and I went to the auditorium, the gym, and I was like, wow, I really don't know anyone here. Like, this sucks. But there was singing and there was drumming, and that drum, it felt familiar to me. Even I'm originally from Lawrence, Kansas, and for those of you that don't know, that's where there's a university called Haskell Indian Nations University. It started out as a boarding school, and it's kind of grown into like K through 12 grade, and now the junior college, where my parents both went when it was Haskell Institute as K through 12, and also as junior college. And I went there when it was a full-fledged university, but even then I still didn't sing and drum. There was plenty of other people that had like the skills and ability and everything to sing and drum. And so, I didn't really feel like I needed to. I kind of knew the basics about it, but once I came out here, that drum beat and singing, it was familiar to me. And luckily, I think that summer of 15, Dennis Sotai and Ralph Sotai, they both opened up a beginner drum workshop, and I was definitely a beginner back then. But even those first few practices, I could feel there was something higher than just the physicality of singing and drumming. There was definitely like spiritual medicine in there, and like I said, I kind of that first performance I talked about, I thought that there would be more people there with me, and I don't know, maybe I misread the message or something happened, but eventually I figured out the day of that I was going to be singing by myself. And that like I said, I just had to hope and pray that I didn't screw up. I can't remember what the other questions were.
I'm sorry. I was tending to Xander.
Can you repeat the other questions, Annie?
Sure. Watching you perform feels very spiritual and connected to a higher purpose. Would you be comfortable sharing what you see in your mind's eye while you sing?
Okay. Yeah. I know even talking about it kind of gets me choked up a little bit, but I got really sick in 2016, and I'd asked Ralph to sing a song for me, and kind of it changed my life, and I try to carry that with me when I sing. I didn't know if I was going to live, and he saved my life that day. And so when I sing, I know there's people that are hurting, and they have problems, and so to me, I just try to convey that spiritual healing and spiritual medicine that Ralph gave me that day. And he provided. He didn't have to. He didn't ask for any money. He just said, okay, I can do it. He sang for me, and like my life changed. I can't describe it in words, but when I sing, I every time I try to repay that small favor that he gave me. So that's all I got. Any other questions?
Yeah, a question.
Okay.
Where does the name Tom Tom Drum come from? So the question was, where does the name Tom Tom Drum come from? And I actually just wanted to speak a little bit about that. So that's actually of East Asian descent, the name of that, and that's just due to denoting that it's a cylindrical drum that has one tone. So it's not necessarily something that is deemed Native American. I think a lot of people have adopted it to be such, but it just denotes a drum that has one tone to it. And I thought I would take that opportunity because I actually had to research that, and I didn't know if Lance was just able to jump right up and answer that question. And then another question is, if a small child wanted to learn singing, where would you point them to go? How would you teach them? Can anyone just start singing as a little kid? Maybe you can give some pointers to some interested little kids out there.
So I'll bring little Xander out here in just a second, but I think a good way is just to kind of put them near the drum in any kind of scenario. What I notice is sometimes they'll just stick little kids in there and they'll squeeze in between maybe their male relatives, or even just if they're nice enough to come and give it a try. Because if they're around it, they'll pick up on certain things. Little kids are sponges, they're very smart. So I would suggest to start putting them around the drum. But there are, I want to say every so often a singer or like a drummer, somebody will go to like a school, just randomly across the U.S. And if you ever see those opportunities come up, that would be also good to send your child out there. But for the most part, I would just have them near the drum at any kind of social event, powwow, even if you're a family that goes to ceremony, because there's a lot of nice people that are willing to just try to pass on something. There's always at least that one person that's just nice enough to freely pass on something, and wanting for just language or culture, just some piece of knowledge to just survive. So they're very nice about teaching like beginners or new people, kind of like Mr. Ralph Zotai was or is. So I'm gonna go grab Xander and see if he's willing to sing the song here, just so that he can kind of hopefully if he sings, can kind of encourage the other little kids out there not to be afraid.
I'm going to take a second to have you speak on this. But if there are other little kids out there, that maybe aren't Native American, would you encourage them to sing songs that Xander's singing as well? I mean, what kind of encouragement could come there? In addition, one of the little kids asks, what is your favorite part of the song making process?
Okay, we're going to try to have Xander perform, and then maybe we can answer some of those questions. One up here, close one.
Sure.
There's the feeling spot. Just get a little closer so you can like see. Just barely. Just barely. You can barely see. Just hold.
It's okay.
Yeah. Is this all?
Yes, it is. But don't pull the strings, baby.
Why?
Just hold on here.
Okay.
Xander.
Mommy, is this one all?
Yes.
It's
okay. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Sit up.
Hey, just reach here.
Go on. Okay, ready? Get on your knees so you can see the camera. Okay. Come on. Okay. Do you want to sing? Do you want to sing? Do you feel okay to sing? You want to give it a try?
No, because I want to make the unicorn.
Oh, you want to go play?
Let's try it.
Do you want to give it? You want to give it one try? I don't want to. I'm gonna force you to do anything you don't want to do, but you can sing for all your little friends out there. You can show them how beautiful you sing. We can start.
Okay.
You want to start a little bit so you can follow you?
Nami chihuo. Nami chihuo.
Say, very good. Shut the door.
Let's make some.
Thank you guys for your patience and trying to get Xander to sing. I never want to try to force him to do anything. Only maybe give him like a nudge or something. But I never want to try to, as per our culture, I never want to try to force the kids to do anything. So thank you guys for your patience. What are the next two things?
Listen to that song.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so one of the other things I'll say briefly that we've come across that's always important is learning our languages. So Lance is from the Northern Cheyenne tribe, and obviously don't call themselves Northern Cheyenne, they're Tsitsistas. And I'm from the Great Sioux Nation, but we ourselves call ourselves Lakota, Ogala Lakota, or if you're from maybe one of the other bands. So learning the language is important, and that song in particular is from the LeBeau family, as in like a drum LeBeau. But the song is about, it's about and for the children. So in these times, a lot of our nations, the kids get hit really hard with pretty much any issue or anything that comes their way, poverty or any, national issues. The kids of our nation get hit pretty hard as well. So it's important to teach Xander to connect with his peers, but to carefully teach him about like our history and, to make that connection. And so the words of that song are, Father, hear me, and he only sang half of the portion of it. Father, hear me, the children are wandering lost. So I just tried to briefly explain to him that, the song also kind of reminds us as adults, like as mommies and daddies, that, we also have a kind of a duty for all the children and our own children of the nation. So it is important to learn the language because you also have to know what you're singing. There's a much deeper connection when you can know exactly what, all the words and verbs in different parts, what they mean and where they come from and how the words break down. And so we've been doing that ourselves through the pandemic. We've tried to enroll in as much language classes as we possibly could. So between us, Lance is in 3 classes and I'm in 4 outside of like our other duties. And they're both Northern Cheyenne and Lakota language classes. So
I'm gonna keep singing. Sorry if I didn't answer your questions, but a big part of the singing is singing for dancers, and for those that can see, the drum is circular, and we're gonna sing a rain dance song next. Giovanna might go through the steps, but I know there's a lot of people that weren't expecting this pandemic, and I don't know when the last time anyone danced or round danced or even heard a round dance song. So we're going to try to virtually do a round dance. So this is it requires participation from everyone inside, and Joanna's going to show the steps real quick. And
so I know I don't know how much of it you're going to be able to see, but basically it's a very simple step, and you're going to bend your knees like with the beat, and you don't have to do it like so far, but you definitely want to be able to like feel yourself kind of sway. And as you bend down and you pick up, and you pick yourself back up, you're going to move one of your feet. And I usually move my left foot because we always kind of tend to go clockwise. So, and this is something where you can kind of join hands with everybody. Anybody can do it. And, anybody from any nation, you don't have to wear anything special in particular. So this is always something fun to invite people in to do. So
okay. And this is another song I composed, dedicated to Giovanna and everything she's done for me, everything she provides for me and Xander, and all the love she gives us. Okay, we'll open it up for questions again.
So you can't get away from all the questions. Little Henry asked, what is your favorite part of composing a song?
Let me think. there's always something special about, like I said earlier, making people feel good, making people feel happy, just trying to somehow positively impact people. And like I said earlier, when there's songs composed, like I've composed a few during the quarantine that I haven't necessarily performed. There's one I'll probably perform publicly for the first time if we still have time. But like I said before, there's definitely been a lot of my close friends and family that have been going through hard times, and we haven't been able to travel home or participate in ceremonies. We're kind of stuck where we are and trying to stay inside and stay indoors as long as possible, and it's really hard. So I'm glad that we're able to do something like this and to help anyone that's been away from home for a while and just misses the sound of the drum, the sound of singing, and just that good spiritual medicine that it provides.
Thank you so much, Lance. Definitely, since this is a time we can't go home, that, having you just bring this music into our homes is really makes me feel like I'm back at home and at least with my people, and, even teasing you at work. I mean, it's just nice to feel like we're back with friends. I did have someone write in, Peter, and asked for you to please explain the structure, if you can. Any cries, the chorus, how it starts, maybe a beginning, middle, end.
Okay, I'll explain it, and then we'll sing one more prayer song. We'll try to squeeze it in. But if there's a group of people, there'll be a lead, and then the group will repeat the lead. So the first lead, it goes, or I guess the lead, it goes, and then it goes into a chorus. And then there'll be a brief pause, and the song will repeat that same chorus. Yes. So after that whole circle goes, I'll repeat that very first lead that I showed you. So if there were a group of us singing, that lead would be repeated by everyone. There's the lead. Majority of the times it'll be sung 4 times, but for these performances we're only doing the leads twice, just to try to fit in as many different styles as we can in the time that we're permitted. Did you have anything to say for the song?
Yeah, sure. So generally, not for all, but for quite a bit of the different indigenous nations, those first 2 leads that he's talking about, one with like a lead singer and then kind of the rest of the people, most of the time those will actually be men that do that. And for us as Plains Native people, traditionally the women would come in kind of on the very tail part of that, or even sometimes if there's like a beginning of like a second part or maybe like a third verse, that's when like maybe words might come in, if it has words. then the rest of the women will come in. So that's what I try to stick to traditionally. But I do say that I like that other nations, like for example, like the Haudenosaunee peoples. I've heard from like the Navajo Nation, and then even from some of our Native relatives down south, that women can, hold the drum and sing, with the drum like by themselves, and they can sing their own songs, and so I always like that. I don't sing in that style. I just try to stick to what I've taught, or what I've been taught, or what I've learned kind of within my own nation here. But there's many different kind of little different, I don't know what you call them. There's different ways to sing. But generally when he's talking about those first two leads, it's usually males.
Okay, so like I said, I composed this song just within the past few weeks. I haven't performed it anywhere else. But there's been a lot of my friends and family that have experienced loss. And of course, I haven't been able to sing at any ceremonies or provide any sort of comfort or relief. And just anyone that wants to pray or has, a need, they want to pray to the Creator. I'm just going to dedicate this final song we're going to sing, this prayer song to all of you out there that may need help. Any last questions?
So we're getting a lot of feedback, just a lot of people that say you're doing such a great job. They loved your singing. They loved this entire performance. Something that I thought was pretty cute was how precious little Xander was. Love your gentle encouragement, Mama. And I just wanted to say, Kihat, thank you for joining us this evening, for blessing us with those songs. And thank you for the prayer songs. I hope that it reaches a lot of our relatives throughout Indian country that are being plagued by COVID. Thank you, everybody, for logging on. And I'm going to go ahead and exit with any last words that you might say, Leah. possibly another song, because you do seem to be quite popular. Maybe you can leave us with, just another parting song.
Wait, I hate to interject, but it's Marla Moore from the Office of Human Rights. I just wanted to let everyone know that in the chat, I put the link for the Office of Human Rights Native American Heritage Month page, and all the videos, in case you've missed any, will be there. And then there's going to also be a resource guide, which is going to have the contact information and some of the lessons and certain, nuggets that we had from every presentation, so you can keep in touch with the artists and learn more about, Native American Heritage Month and the culture in general. And from the Office of Human Rights, I just want to say thank you so much for attending this and supporting the arts and supporting the community. And if you need anything, whether it's outreach, education, events, coordination, or even if somebody that you know in Howard County has faced discrimination, this is what we are here for, and we are here for you. So take it away, Lance. And
Lance, I have to interject really quick and just say that because Faith was late, that's why you're doing another song. She said you're doing such a great job.
Okay, well, we'll dedicate the song to Faith. This is a Ojibwe traveling song. It can also be used as a healing song. It was composed by the late Alex Skeed, and he was in the hospital, and the creator gifted him with the song, the melody, and the lyrics, and its creator, "You Are the Reason I'm Walking," and it's used as a traveling song to wish people well and on their journeys home. And then also, like I said before, it's a healing song. So once again, if anyone's having a hard time, just focus on the song, the words, the lyrics, and pray.
I'd just like to make a quick note, just before we close out here, that there are so many things to learn about singing and drumming. There's so much vocabulary, what does like a push-up mean, and there's so many little things, and there's tips and tricks, and there's the everything that goes with singing and drumming. There's such a broad spectrum, and every tribe, every nation has their own thing. So we hope that we tried to cover the basics as well as we could. But thank you for the opportunity to even just let us educate or share what we know. Thank you to the Howard County Office of Human Rights, and to Annie, and to anybody that basically let us come here and share our drumming and singing, and especially for Native American Heritage Month. Okay.
Yeah, 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 thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ogala, everybody, and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody who said in the comments. Thank you for your encouragement, and have a good night.
Thank you.